what in the 20s is going
in the
on?
20s,
Think about the 20s.
The 20s, baby.
Plenty. What in the 20s is
I
going
am
on?
here for my 20s, baby.
This is the 20s.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zamam Kize, and this is What's in the 20s, a podcast where you listen to me grow through its baby. On this episode, I've got my longtime friend. You guys might know him as a presenter or an actor or an engineer or a dancer.
Keep going. What else?
It just keeps going. Or a boxer. My friend Thato Dithebe. Hello.
What's up, mate?
How you doing?
Can't complain. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm amazing. I'm great. Like, I'm so happy to see you.
No, literally.
I feel like we've been discussing this since last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, friend, would you like to, just...
And I keep saying I'm down, but then scheduling happens and life
It's always
happens,
a thing, right?
Yeah.
I honestly, the reason why I wanted to bring you in, right, was because you see, like, how even mentioning in your like bio all the things that you do and stuff, it just started getting me thinking about like purpose. And since I met you back in 2013 and stuff like that, you were just always that person who always had something going on, all right? Always was busy with something. But even further, when I say you were busy with something, you were also really good at everything you were busy with, It's like it's like if you decided to do acting, you would be like best actor, all the rest. If you decided to do dancing, now you're telling everyone like you won this competition for dancing, blah 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 blah.
I feel like Mr. Hansel gave me that award.
Oh yeah.
He had a crush.
He was like, please just take it.
Just
something for your ego. But like, yeah, and it just made me think, like, so you've been on TV since you were 8 years old.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And what has it been like, essentially, just like being in tune with so many different skills, so many different talents and stuff, but like from so early, and like how do you essentially kind of find what it is you really want to do when you're just well versed in a lot of things? Because those were conversations we used to have, like even when it came to what are you going to study and all the rest, it was just like, what do I do when there's so much I'm interested? There was a time you want to be a basketball player and like
try to be a rapper, try to start a record label.
Like what is the journey to essentially just picking something or finding something that you really want to do?
I think the way that I see it is like, bro, I'm only going to live once.
Okay. And
for as long as I'm able and I'm capable to try as many things as possible, why not? Like I honestly feel as though that till this day, as much as, an actor, engineer, presenter, dancer, this, that, like I still haven't found that thing that I would say, oh, I could do this for the rest of my life. Like I
still haven't.
I honestly haven't.
Wow.
I was even speaking to my family the other day and I was like, I get a strong feeling that the next 2 years are going to be completely different. I'm going to find myself in a space where I'm doing something that I never anticipated that I'd be in, because I keep finding myself in these pockets. I see something interesting and I'm like, I could try that. And then I try it. And then if I suck at it, I let it go. And then if I feel as though that I'm getting better, then I stick with it.
That's not true. And you are incredibly competitive and you...
There's that too. Because I don't want to suck.
Exactly.
I don't want to suck.
I feel like you'll go again and again and again until you get it right, because you don't like the idea of not being good at something.
True.
And I think I want to go to that whole, the quotes where they're like, jack of all trades is like, a master of none. But like, you kind of felt like, no,
Why not? Why not? Because honestly, bro, like, the way I see it, at some point in time, I'm gonna go. Like, my time here is gonna be up, So for the most part, I might as well try and make the most of everything I find myself in. Because even with the whole competitiveness and not wanting to suck at something, it's because I just want to see how good could I possibly get, and also how good could it get.
But then how can you become the best at it if your attention and your energy is constantly split amongst various things? Like, how do you... Yeah, because I think sometimes you really just have to find something you're good at, your strength, and then dedicate everything you have to that thing. And like what you do is that you kind of diversify.
So that's the thing. It may look like from the outside world, it looks like I'm diversifying and I'm doing a lot of things at once. But that's actually not the case. Like when I went into acting, I was obsessive about acting and I just stuck to it. I haven't presented a show in like 3 years.
Oh, yeah?
When I was presenting, I was obsessive about that, and I stuck to presenting. When I was dancing, same thing again. So to the outside world, it seems as though that, oh, dog, you're doing so many different things. But really and truly, when I'm obsessed with something, I stick it out. And then I maximize it. I try and just, it's almost like you're taking fatugu. And like, so like I'm trying to get everything out of it. And then once I feel as though that, okay, you know what? I've maximized it. I've done the best that I can. Then I let it go. Or when something else exciting comes by, then I'm like, cool.
So
Let's
there's
jump to that.
2 things I need to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Is how do you know when to let something go? Because I think sometimes we can be so in love with something that we're doing and stuff.
Yeah.
And when do we know that it's the end of the road, for that pursuit and that passion and all the rest? I mean, we see this a lot, even with soccer players and all the rest.
True.
I mean, David Beckham, even like, starting his own like team and stuff, like he just can't let it go.
Yeah.
Like when you watch his documentary. So like, like how do you find the grace to be able to be like, I've done all I can with this and this is its season?
I think honestly, it kind of lets you know. For example, when I did dancing, I danced, went overseas, competed, came back, won SS Got Talent with my crew. There's so many different things, but at the end of it all, like I felt that, you know what, my time here is kind of up, not in a...
It wasn't the injury.
Well, the knee injury contributed,
Because I'm like, sometimes life brings you to a
That's
place
also
where
another thing. That's why I'm like, I feel as though that it genuinely tells you, and that's why for me, I always try and, do that thing of gameling and just maximizing it completely so that I also know that there's nothing else that I could have added to that or tried with that. So that's also how I know that, you know what, it's time to let this thing go. If there's still just even a 1% yarn of me that's like, yo, dog, we could have, or I should have, then I'm like,
You're telling me you've never left a passion of yours.
Yeah.
Still dedicated to it.
Never.
Still having dreams for it.
Never.
Because that was going to lead me to my next question is, do you ever miss the things that you've left behind?
Nah, I really don't, man. I think
Sure.
whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm just so present with it. And like I said, I'm super obsessive because I hate that feeling of missing something. Last year we did a show called Champions and it was a long form. We shot it for about 8 months. And I kept telling myself that within this 8 months, I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to audition for anything else. I don't want to go do this, that. I'm just super obsessed with this show, with this character, because should it end and when it ends, I want to be able to walk away from it going, you know what? I gave everything I possibly could to this character and to the show. And now it's time for another journey and another opportunity. So funny enough, I never find myself missing the thing. I might miss the people that I worked with or the environment, but the thing in itself,
you're okay to just that's such a I think it's a beautiful way to think about it, right? Because we once had a conversation about the difference between happiness and contentment.
Hey, why were we so deep? Like we were 17 talking about
I was arguing that it's not enough for me to be content. I want to feel like so overjoyed and stuff like that. And you were saying like contentment is a state of just like, that kind of peace that this is what it is and stuff. And I think that that's a beautiful way to think of things, like reaching a place of contentment because you're like, I'm so okay with like what I've delivered and like what I've given to this and stuff. And should it leave me and all the rest, like,
so be it.
Oh man. Do you ever find that like having multiple skills, at least trainings and all these different stuff ever cross over? So for example, I studied theater and performance, right? And
let them know.
And it was just so interesting. Well, let me just like being in the humanities faculty, they always say that like when you're part of this, you become really good in the workspace because you know how to like deal with people, how to deal with conflict, how to like just all of that kind of stuff. So it's like so often in different work endeavors that I go on and stuff, I see that the skills that I've like learned in this space, whatever, I'm able to apply it in other spaces, even in acting, it's like there's so much that you learn from acting. You speak about like how obsessive you can get into being a character and all of that. But like, there's just so much you take in it. And I think like also gives you, when I say people skills, like you're able to humanize people more. You're able to sympathize.
You have
and
empathy.
Like, empathy, have compassion. It's like, because even people that we might see as villains, you're able to like really see where they're coming from. So
bring the heart out in them, yeah.
So I think I'm just like curious, like, are there things that maybe you've learned in like your engineering degree or whatever that like where your skills in this space maybe have like crossed over and you're able to apply it in certain scenarios and, you know?
I think for me, it's always been a thing of I'm me going through all of this stuff. You know, like you are who you are wherever you are. You are who you are, whatever it is that you're doing. So I've always felt as though that every experience or everything that I do, whether it was varsity, whether it's acting or whatever, it's not necessarily about the thing itself, but it's more about just how am I growing and improving and learning through it. And I think that's where the overlapping that you're speaking about comes into play, you know, because the way I investigate and study a script, I didn't have the opportunity to go to drama school and learn how to do that. But the way I interrogate it is very meticulous because of the way we would have to come up with our research projects and varsity, you know, for engineering. So you find that all of these things find their way to just seep into each other. Because I think we also had a chat a while back where I was like, yo, Zama, I'm doing so many things and I don't see where the connection is. And over the past year, what I realized was the connection is me. Like all of these things are just going up and down within me, you know? And the overlapping of skills is not necessarily I'm taking from this to that and I'm taking from that to this, but it's more so I'm going from this to that and that to this. And all of these things just fill up within me. And then I get the opportunity to just, oh, yeah, man, I know a way to actually approach this. Because the cliche, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, is so real, you know? And what I've learned, everything has just been filling up and filling up and filling up. And I just get the opportunity to pour into this, pour into that, and that's it. So I hope I answered your question.
No, for real. I think it's so beautiful because it's reminding me, Pastor Sarah Jakes was like speaking about like how when people are in the pursuits of like purpose, what is my purpose? For her, she feels like it's more of being the purpose. So like if I'm in this space, how can I add purpose and, you know, and value into the conversation, into the people I'm around, rather than like, what is my purpose in life and all the rest? It's just like, yeah, I think that's like what it speaks to me is like you are the thing and wherever you take up whatever you're doing or whatever it is, like you are the purpose essentially.
Bro, like Jay-Z put it best. He was like, nah. You know I have to drop a young Banyana.
Yes.
I love what Jay-Z said. He was like, well, Jay-Z and Stormzy. Jay was like, don't ever go with the flow, be the flow. And you know, to make it a bit cooler, Stormzy was like, I can't ever drop the bag because I am the bag. And I think when you think about it like that, like whatever space you find yourself in, bro, you could throw me anywhere. And I honestly believe I'll flourish, you know, because I am not the thing, I am.
Okay, so let's speak about this flourishing thing, right? Because it's not as easy as like going somewhere and just you are, you know. I think that there are often struggles and difficulties and stuff, especially when we're like in the journeys of our like passions and all the rest, right? And I think I'm interested to know like what do you feel like are sometimes like your struggles, your pains, your sacrifices that you have to make? Like I'm sure there's a lot of time, quality time you get to miss out on, you know, in the people's lives that you care about, because you spoke about having to be so obsessive over the things that you do, that it's like, does it sometimes feel like you don't mind compromising on those relationships for the job that you're trying to do? You know, like, what does sacrifice look like to you? And is it worth it all the time for you, do you feel?
So had you asked me this question like a year or two ago, I would have said 100%.
You did not give it.
Yo, family, you guys will see me when you see me. Baby girl, mates, everyone, you guys will see me when you see me.
Then there was a point where you even said like, I wish people would just be more understanding. Like you'd say that to me, like I wish my friends could understand. And I'm like,
because we also had a very tough time within our friendship, because at that point in time, my mindset was, oh, Mara guys, I'm chasing my dreams. You guys keep saying, Chief, chase your dreams. I'm doing that. Now you're mad.
I got issues because
what do you want, bro?
Because I'm not here.
You know, but now I'm realizing and I'm learning that, bro, as obsessive as you are and as much as there's some benefits to that, you can't make work your world. You can't make your passions your world. Like no, you know, because at the end of the day, these things end. No matter what, these things end, you know, everything is going to come in and pass.
Sure.
But it's very important to always stay focused on the constant. I will always be my mother's son. I'll always be my sister's brother. I'll always be an uncle to my nieces. God willing, I'll always be a good friend to you. And God willing, someday I'll be a great husband to my wife and dad to my kids. Those are the constants. And I feel as though that's what you're supposed to sort of make your world, you know?
Sure.
And yes, you know, the balance is a bit difficult because Vela, you do want to go and chase all these things and do all these great things, but these things will hurt you. You know, these things will disappoint you. These things will end. And when that happens, where do you go back to? Who do you fall back to? These people here. And now it's a bit unfair.
You haven't seen in a bit.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's a bit unfair for me to be popping up going, hey, how are ya? Like,
but it's so tough because, you know, like I would always hold so much sympathy in a sense of you're dedicating so much of yourself, you know? Yeah. And I always felt like it must be so exhausting to now go from that space into now I need to be a friend. And and it's not to, you know, excuse certain things. Like I know sometimes I struggle with that. It's like, you know, I feel like I wish people understand if I'm not answering a call, it's like I'm tired. Like I'm been focused so much on what I'm doing, but it's also unfair because it's like you also have a responsibility to be a good friend or 100%. A good, you know, and I get that. But like, I think I would always just like think, maybe I'm being too hard on him. Like, no shame, like, because I'm so proud of everything you do, obviously. But it's like, how do you find the energy? I think that's another thing I'm like curious to know is like when you done a full day of doing this and stuff, and now you got to go back to your support system and stuff. How do you find the energy to show up at 100? Because that's another thing I would think about is like, am I giving the best version of myself to the people I love? Like, even though I'm there, am I showing up as, you know, the version of me they deserve? Because I would give 100% to my work. I'd give 100% to like the things that I'm building and working towards, you know? But then it's like, I always want to make sure I'm not giving them the tired version of me or the, you know, just irritated or all of that. Because it's like what she said, like when things are going wrong in this world, who do you fall back on, you know? But it's like, they also want to experience you when you're super happy. They also want to experience you when you're literally just waking up like gassed and stuff. But it's like, you're so used to giving that to what you do. True. You know, so how do you find the energy, I guess? Yeah.
I think just by, it's going to sound crazy, but you also have to have a lot of grace for yourself.
Okay.
And one thing that I realize is that everything that I'm going through, I'm not the first one to go through. You know, I'm not the first person ever to be tired from work or to be tired from my passions and whatnot, you know. And what I realize is that, my sister goes through the same thing too. My mother goes through the same thing too. All the people that I care about, they're also tired, you know? And I think that it's just an understanding of seasons. Sometimes I'm going to have to be the person holding space for you. And other times I'm going to need you to hold space for me. So I don't put that pressure on myself to always show up at 100% because I also don't put that pressure on them. You know, and I feel as though that if you genuinely care about me and I care about you, I'll always put the friend before the relationship. Understanding that, okay, right now we might not be going out and, you know, having lunches and having drinks or games nights or whatever, but we can always hop on a call. I can just pull up and we can sit in silence because you're tired, you know? So it's just that understanding that the grace that I give to others, I also have to give it to myself too.
Whew. Have you ever dealt with an unanswered prayer, you know? Because...
Hey, bro.
I mean, since we're speaking about the different struggles and challenges and stuff, like wanting something so bad, you know, and
I'm in it now.
This is live. Oh yeah. It's like you felt like, but God, you're calling me to this. You know, this is meant for me. I am the person for the job.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Shoo! Right now, dog. Right now. I'm in this. You know, I can't speak about that, but I think.
How do you deal with it? How do you deal with hearing not now?
Process. You just gotta stay in process. I honestly believe that everything that's meant for you will happen for you in the right time. And a lot of the times when, you know, we pray and we ask God for, you know, blessings and whatnot, I think about David, how he was anointed when he was still young, but he only became king decades later, you know? And I always wondered why that was the case. And, you know, I read the Bible, read the book of Samuel, and as of late, the answer that keeps coming up is that your character isn't ready as yet for that. So a lot of the time when we're waiting for these blessings and these prayers and these visions that we feel as though that, yo, God, but you're the one that said, you're the one that promised me X, Y, and Z. Most of the time, the reason he's holding out for a little while is because he still has some work to do with your character. But how I deal with that is in a practical way, is process. I tell myself that, stay in process.
What does that mean?
So to give you an example, so there's like a role that I am waiting for, and it's been months of just constant callbacks, chemistry tests, meetings with directors, producers, and whatnot. And it's like, guys, okay, like
I'm here.
Every time I'm about to lose hope, hey, listen, Thato, this they want to link
Feels
up.
like it's playing with your heartstrings. Yeah.
So what I realized was the best way to deal with that is literally to just keep myself ready. That's what I mean by process. So I'm hitting the gym, I'm staying healthy. I am constantly going to my acting coach and working on, Thato, the actor, lebala the character. Because the character is just the opportunity to show off the work that was done in the shadows. So if you constantly just cooking that up and working that up and working that up, eventually when God says, okay, it's time for you to come into the light, now you step into the light confident and ready, knowing that, you know what, in these 8 months of constant back and forths, I wasn't just chilling. No. I actually was preparing and working so that should the opportunity come, boom, I'm there, I'm ready. So that's how I deal with unanswered prayers. Like I keep myself in process because the process will always be there. Good or bad, I can always get back to the process.
And it's a discipline.
It's a discipline.
Wow.
It really is a discipline because, man, you know what it's like. You achieve something. It feels like you climb a mountain. You get to the top. Yay, this was fun. Then you look over and you see, oh, there's another bigger mountain. So the best way to deal with that and to deal with the highs and lows is to just stay on that axis. And staying on that axis is just all about the process.
Friend, there was something you said to me years ago where you were like, Zama, right now I'm in a season where like, I just tell God, whatever you put on my plate,
Let's rock.
Yeah. And I think that's what I'm trying to understand. It's like, as we were saying, like, you can put this on your plate, but that tension of like, it's why is it not coming to fruition and stuff like that? And I think that's such a beautiful answer that she gave that like, you just got to stay in process because it will always be there and stuff. But now how do you deal with rejection and failure? Have you ever failed?
Hey, man. Hey.
Don't try to be cool and coy about it.
I'm not even trying to be cool. Like, honestly, guys, like what I said at the beginning of the chat, I'm going to die someday, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this planet has been around for billions of years. There have been millions of people that have walked this planet, and everything that I'm going through, I'm not the first one to go through it, So screw failure, screw rejection. Like, what's mine is mine. What I'm meant for will come.
Have you been rejected? Because I think like we're so used to obviously the cliche, like always seeing, the wins and the things that you do get and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, so I think sometimes I even wonder, like, have you even, say for example, auditioned for something, whatever it is, and it didn't work out in your favor, or like done a dance competition and you didn't win? I'm just like, I've personally never seen it, but like, it has happened.
Hundreds of times. Like, where
does it get easier being rejected?
You learn to understand what it is. And it's just a matter of, okay, not today. That's all it is. It's literally just not today.
Is that really how you just take it? Like,
honestly, I used to take it, I used to chest it. Like, cry. And
I'm thinking even sad. Like at school, at varsity, did you ever like fail a thing or whatever?
Yeah, dog, I failed the module, boy. But funny enough, when it happened, it didn't feel like the end of the world. Like I was just like, just not today. Like, I remember my final year. My final year, I passed everything except my major, structures. So now I have to come back the whole year just for that one course. I could have graduated in record time, but now I have to come back for that one course.
How did that moment feel when you saw it though? Like,
I mean,
Did you know that before the records came that you failed, or did you?
in varsity, you kind of know, guys. Let's
Really?
not lie. Like,
Because I'm thinking maybe you didn't expect that.
Nah. I was hoping, like, I was 15 years
that a miracle.
just a young,
just push through, yeah.
But when it happened, like, funny enough, I didn't feel a way about it because I understood that, okay, cool. I'm just not going to graduate this year. I'll graduate 2024. And that's it. It's literally just a matter of not today. Because let me tell you something.
What?
There is nothing outside of me that has any bearing on my self-esteem and how I feel about myself. There's no W that the world could give me. There's no L that the world could give me that could make me look myself in the mirror and go, hey, Maratido, or hey, Maratido.
Has it always been like that, or you built that resilience? Because that's what I'm trying. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to know is how do you build that? Because I think so for me, let me say, so in drama, all the time, every work we do, we show each other, whether it's just a workshop or whatever, we have to show the whole class.
Yeah.
And so we're constantly getting used to feedback. We're constantly getting used to someone saying, I didn't like the way you did this and this. And so in the first, like when I was still in high school doing it, it was gut-wrenching and frustrating, to the point where I didn't want to show my work until like, at the final stage, like until it was done and stuff, because I'm like, I just wanted to be perfect before anybody has a chance. But like, that's not how we do things. We're meant to be like constructive criticism and stuff. Like we're meant to like constantly reject certain ideas and like, welcome others and all the rest. And so like, I think through that, have you heard of rejection therapy? I think it's like constantly being exposed to spaces where you would be rejected to build that tough skin, and so I think for me, that was like the building block because I hate dealing with rejection. I hate dealing with bad comments. I hate dealing with I love affirmation, like inject that into me. I love just being told like, this is amazing work. This is whatever. Yeah. And so when I started having to get used to being told, this wasn't so great. Man, my confidence, also the way I see myself, just so many things started, and that's when I knew, as you said, like when you say there's nothing externally that can affect the, how you feel about yourself, your confidence and stuff. I think that's so beautiful because like, for me, that wasn't the case at all, especially if, you're a people pleaser and all the rest, like you thrive off of, hearing validation and stuff. And so, so years and years and years of constantly having my work critiqued and rejected and all of that. Eventually, like I just kind of like, got to a place where I don't think that it's taking me in the wrong direction to be rejected. I think if anything, it's like, it's helping guide me to like restructure and all of that. So I think that was been my process. Yeah. But now as I'm saying this out loud, I'm thinking about the fact that you said you've been rejected hundreds of times. So maybe that's the whole thing. It's like when you get used to just hearing it, it's because all you need is one yes, right? Literally.
And that yes is the yes that matters. But even with that, like, I think I realized just, my frontal lobe is finally closing. I'm turning 25 this year. But
year?
Yeah, November. 25, man. Nah.
Okay.
So what I realized was, for the most part, nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. So you need to also be very careful about whose criticism you actually take seriously.
Wow.
There's a quote by Uta. I hope I'm saying her name right. It's either Uta Hagen or Uta Hagen. And in her book, she speaks about how actors are the only people in the world where we listen to the opinions of everyone about our profession. You'll listen to your uncle saying, oh, you should have cried like this. Or your mom saying, oh, you should have shouted and said this.
True.
We listen to everyone. And she was like, your uncle would never go to a doctor and be like, hey man, don't you think you should have just cut the heart or the brain like this? You understand? So she was like,
so crazy.
The most important thing to do is to have a set of standards, your own personal standard that you are like, you know what, I need to constantly be chasing after this. And that's something that you need to cultivate and work within yourself. And then secondly, obviously, because we're not going to be perfect and we do have blind spots, you need to know and find credible people within your life whose opinions matter, because you also respect their craft, you respect what they do, and you respect what they have done. So if you literally have these two things, bro, you should be okay. And when it comes to rejection, for the most part, you need to understand that there's a lot of things that go into rejection, man. You might find that, for example, sticking to the example of like auditions, you didn't get the role because you just were too tall. You didn't get the
reasons
role.
outside of your control.
Like small things. It's not always about you. It's always about the thing. And that's why it's important for you to be able to separate yourself, Thato, and the job or the passion or the opportunity, because it's rarely ever about you. I had an audition earlier this year, went to,
deep breaths, my friend.
Went there, yo, dog, that was a big one. Went in there, casting director loved me, everything was great, you're shortlisted, coming back for chemistry tests and whatnot. Everyone is saying, yo, you're the guy. And then literally, months go on by, guys, what's going on? I hit up my agent. My agent is like, hey, dog, these people didn't cast you because unfortunately you and the dad they were going for didn't look alike. So it's literally small things like that. So
you don't look alike.
Literally, dog. So what I realized So what I realized was the talent is there, bro. The Thato, whatever it is that's inside me is there. It's present. But when it comes to rejection, dog, you can't take everything to heart, man.
Oh, that's
First
brilliant.
of all, ask yourself, who's this person judging me and what's their credibility? Do I take their critique seriously? Honestly, if I'm respecting every opinion that comes by, then I might as well go listen to my 3-year-old niece and ask her, hey, Nana, did you see the nuance? And, did you feel the subtext in the scene? Like,
come on now.
Get your judges, make sure they're credible and they're people that you respect, and then also have your own set of standards that you live by.
Sure.
If every single day you go out there and you hit that, regardless of what the world says or what feedback you get, I gave what I could.
Do you know what I love about what you're saying is that you shouldn't stop, venturing on your purpose just because it gets hard or just because, you got rejected and stuff. And I think too many of us, we stop at that point, right? Yeah. Because it feels like if I'm being met with a no, it must mean that I'm on the wrong path. It must mean I'm not in alignment, with what it is that you want. And I think, like what is the reassurance that you're meant to continue doing this? If you are, say for example, you have been rejected, say for that role, what keeps you motivated and stuff to still pursue this path? If it's just is this where I'm supposed to be?
Simple.
What made you motivated to go back for that one module the rest of the year, the next year, if it's just come on, it was,
Not today. That's literally all it is. Just not today. Because I still feel this hunger for this craft. I still feel, remember that thing I was talking about? There's still a whole lot more in that, So I'm just okay, maybe I don't get to wring it out into this bucket, but my bucket will eventually come. Then I'll wring it all out and then yay. So it's just an understanding that.
But how do you know it's hard to, sometimes
you feel it, man.
Sometimes I'll even be, coming, to record and I'm I have no idea, why are people, not why people, what am I doing? Yeah. And it's what you said, for the most part, a lot of people don't know what they're doing and stuff.
Don't.
But have you ever questioned if you're in the right path, if you made the right decisions?
Oh, every day, bro. Every day. But I just keep going because I'm something in me just says, dog, we're not done yet. We're not finished yet. I don't know how to.
That intuition, right?
Yeah,
that conviction inside of you.
Yeah, dog. You just know. There's a reason as to why you keep coming back here and keep recording. There's just something that keeps pulling you and calling you.
Oh, you're so real about that,
there's something, and I hate to sound all spiritual and chakra honey, but
honey. Honey.
It calls you, dog. It calls you, and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna know. When you're done with this, you're gonna feel that, you know what? I'm satisfied. I'm fulfilled. Sure.
And it's even back to the story of David, you were talking about the fact that he was anointed. And I think it's that moment when you get appointed where everything just clicks and it's just this makes sense, it feels ridiculous for me to be referencing Kanye West. But I remember, no.
Hey,
it's because of all the rappers you're now talking about. So now I'm thinking about rappers, but I'm thinking about when they asked him were you surprised that you were gonna win the Grammy? Did you know? And he was like, no.
No.
It didn't surprise. And I thought that was so, because there were moments in my life where I felt like that, I'm actually not the one that's surprised. Everybody is, sure, wow, but it's I know what I put in or whatever, or I've been. When you just feel God has pulled you to this space and stuff, this was always meant to be. Sure. And I mean, always, of course, be humble enough to know that life can do its thing and stuff. But I mean, I think when you have just been birthed with that conviction inside of you, that dream and all the rest, it's it's not that we're not surprised, but I think it's more of, as I said earlier, you just feel so aligned with that thing. But yeah, I think I want to speak about, we spoke earlier, we mentioned like discipline and you have an obsessive nature to the things that you desire and stuff. So I think, when we speak even about staying in the process, right? What does it require out of you as a person to pursue a passion or a purpose and stuff? Like what is necessarily, maybe I should say like the mindset shift, like what does it cost out of you what does it require? Let me not say cost, but what is the requirement for you to pursue something, mentally? Let's just start there. Mentally.
Yeah. I think mentally it's just consistency and detaching from the outcome, detaching from, if you're going to gym, don't go there going, I'm working towards my summer body, da-da-da-da. It's great to have goals. It's great to go, you know what? Okay, cool, sharp. I would like that. But the moment you recognize what you're working towards, let it go. Like literally just completely detach from it, because at some point in time, it's going to do one of two things. One, it's going to motivate you. Then eventually it's going to just start disappointing you and discouraging you, because you're going, yo, dog, but I've been in the gym for like 3 months and ain't nothing happening, dog. Like, what's happening? So that's why like it's important to just detach from the goal and just be obsessed and enjoy the process. Like be consistent with it, find a way to make gym fun for yourself.
You showing up is the purpose. Like
that's it.
Wow.
There's a quote by Stella Adler where she's like, your talent is in the choices you make. And literally those choices are waking up each and every single day and choosing to be consistent. So if we're talking about the mentality for chasing after the thing that you want, notice the thing, recognize it, acknowledge it, let it go. Let it go. Fall in love with the process of getting to that thing. Because then also, again, like, let's say you want, again, sticking to the whole summer body thing. You could easily take steroids, get the body, and then after that, then what? You're going to just stop because you got your body? What's going to happen then?
And it's never enough.
It's never enough. And that's why sticking to the process and falling in love with that and being consistent in that is so clutch. Because then no matter what happens, no matter if you finally get to that goal or you don't, you are doing what you love, bro. So you have to love the process. I love with all my heart waking up in the morning and going to gym. I enjoy it. It's not because I want a body or this or that. Like I genuinely, no, honestly, man, like
but I believe you. Yeah,
I love the feeling of it.
That's what keeps you.
I love chilling. Like I be reading monologues just randomly, bro. Like just enjoy, because I enjoy it. I enjoy the process. So I think if you're chasing after anything in life, acknowledge what it is that you want, because obviously you need direction. But more than anything, dog, detach from it and fall in love with the process. That's the advice that I would give.
And what does focus mean to you, right? Because like, if you're going to say this is what I'm working towards and all of that, right? It requires your focus. And so when I say that, like, it probably means not aligning with anything that is a distraction and all the rest. Like, what does that look like for you when you are focused on something? Is it just like having boundaries, saying no to your friends or people or spaces and all of that? Like,
So again, like had you asked me this like 2 years ago, I'd be like, focus is all about being laser locked in and screw everything else. But what I've realized was, especially for us, because we work in a creative space, ideas are all around you. So if you're blocking yourself off from the world because you're going, no, I just want to lock in on this and focus on this character or focus on this podcast or this book or whatever, you're going to miss out on so much information and so many impulses that the universe is literally giving to you, So focus is being aware of the direction that you're heading in and never deviating from that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you shut off everything else around you. Because sometimes, and I know it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but sometimes you might find that that thing you're working towards isn't actually what you really want, or isn't actually where you're supposed to be at, And,
change your mind.
And life is literally saying, yo, I know you want to be an actor, but actually, dog, like you're a storyteller. Come this side and come, write some stories. Come be a writer. There's that too. But if you're constantly going, screw everything, me now want to beat Denzel. Okay. You're going to be sad. You're going to be depressed because you're not allowing yourself to embrace all these impulses that are coming to you. So with regards to focus, get your direction. As long as you have that, be cool with that, stay there. But also allow life to happen to you and happen for you.
Speaking about like, you said you're going to be sad, you're going to be depressed and stuff. Are we always meant to be happy and enjoy our purpose? Because I think there's so many stories in the Bible, right? Where, they're being called to something.
Name
and they
two
were
people
just
that were happy in the Bible.
That's
bro.
what I'm trying
Name
to say.
two people who were happy in the Bible.
Is happiness the point of purpose? Right? And I think about that a lot. So I wrestle with that a lot because it's like joy really isn't the point of, a lot of what we do. I mean, it's a nice byproduct of certain things, you know. But like being called to certain spaces, like that's why things like discipline is so important and stuff. It's like it's recognizing the bigger thing that's being at play here, rather than say our fleshly desires in certain moments or certain things we want to give into and restrict. But for you, like, do you feel like being happy is the point of why we should pursue something?
Not really, man. I feel like happiness is just so fleeting. Like, I woke up this morning, I was so happy. I drove here, I got into traffic, and I was mad as a mutt. Because there was this man who just decided to cut me off. You know what I mean? So happiness is just so fleeting, man. But I think fulfillment is the thing. And my definition of fulfillment, I don't know what Merriam-Webster says, but for me, it's how do I feel about myself when I go to bed at night? Because that you can't lie, that you can't fake, that no amount of external dopamine can give that to you. That is as raw as it gets. When I go to bed at night, how do I feel about myself? And I always chase that. If I've had a bad day, I get home, when I'm about to sleep, I can always feel good about myself because I'm like, you know what? It was a terrible day, but I was present. I gave my best. Might have not gotten exactly what it is that I wanted to get out of it, but I feel good because Tito showed up with Tito. So forget happiness because I feel like it's just so fleeting, but fulfillment and how you feel about yourself when your head hits that pillow is everything.
How do you self-regulate? So, you mentioned going to gym and stuff like that, so like a happy place, because I believe that like in order for us to do the jobs that we do, there must be things that we're doing in our own time to pour back into us so that we can give our best to everything else, you know? And even just on the topic of like how sometimes it cannot be, you won't be happy. Sometimes you won't, I think like emotionally and all the rest, like is there therapy maybe perhaps that you attend and go to? Is there like, what are things that you do to, I guess, build yourself back up?
Therapy, ne?
You're the one that kept telling me to go. You're like, Zama girl, you better go to therapy.
Yo, man. So whenever I recommend therapy for someone, it's because I don't know how to help you. I'm just like,
your hands are tied.
Hey, man, all I can do is hold space for you, but you need some real help. You need some real help. I can't do that for you.
No. Okay, yeah.
To answer your question,
I'm not qualified.
I'm not though. Like, bro.
I'm thinking about last show when you saw me. So for context, Thato came to Durban just after my mom passed, and I remember we sat and you were like, I didn't even know what to say to your dad. I didn't know what to say to you. I'm just there like, what do I do right now?
I'm just there, bro. Like, I even came back. I spoke to my family about it and I was like, guys, I don't know how to show up. I just know how to show up.
To be there.
To be there. Like all I can do is just hold space and be present. If you want to call and you want to send a 10-minute voice note crying or whatever, I'm here. That's all I can do. But I stopped giving people advice a long time ago because I just freestyle this thing. If I'm sad today about this or that, I just keep it pushing, and what works for me might not work for you. But to answer your question about
what works for you?
What works for me, I'm still figuring that out, man. I'm still figuring that out. But I think...
So even on your low days and stuff, you just...
Yeah, even on, I'm kind of crazy, man. My low days, I'm like, oh, this could be a great scene. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
The thing is, you're not joking.
I'm
this
joking.
is a plot to another story.
Man. Like, honestly, for me, I'm still figuring that out. I think what has kind of been working for me is speaking. Like I speak to people. I'm learning now how to be a bit more vulnerable and show that, you know what, my tough exterior is permeable. And just, yeah, being a bit more gracious with myself, man. I'm not as dope as I think I am. I'm not as wise as I think I am.
That is a revelation.
Nah, for real, man. Screw you.
No.
But like, I'm not.
No, yeah.
I'm not all these things.
Yeah.
You know, yes, they do exist within me, but I'm not perfect, and I just have to give myself that grace, and also just prayer. Guys, prayer works a lot, man. Prayer works a lot. Reading your Bible works a lot, because again, when you read the Bible, you realize I'm not the first person to go through what I'm going through. And I hope I don't go through what they went through, because I ain't trying to be like Job.
Nobody wants to be
I ain't trying to be like him, man. In all honesty, like, yeah, man. You know, the Bible says we must be Christ-like, but he went through the most, you know. But without getting religious and everything, I think just being gracious to myself and being a good friend to me is how I'm learning to work through, you know, my tough days and my tough times. I always ask myself, if Zama was calling or if my sister was calling, what would I do? What would I say? And I try to be that for me. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've cultivated a great support system around you to fall back on?
I think.
Or is it still in process, in motion? You know, because you've been in many different, well, you've had, you know, a lot of people. Let me start there, you know? And I think you will continue, you're someone who's just going to continue knowing and meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like, how do you find building friendship groups? I mean, you're even part of the housemates, the real
TRH, the real housemates.
You know, and it's like you've got your friends from varsity, you got your friends from high school, you got your, you know, at least how do you kind of put together, or do you feel like you're still, because like I'm saying, you're constantly in so many different spaces. How do you have a consistent core group that you're able to just...
I think going back to the constant again, man, I'll always be my mother's son. I'll always be my sister's brother, an uncle to my nieces. And I think just honestly, I wouldn't even say that I've cultivated that support group. I think I just have to give thanks to God, because the family that I was born into was just so supportive and just so present for me, you know. So I'm in a lot of groups. I know a lot of people, have a lot of acquaintances, have a few friends, and I'm appreciative of all those people, but also understand that, you know, things come and go. Friendships, friend groups. I mean, you know about my high school experience. I had people that I was tight with, and like now, hey,
this life thing,
you know, and all these experiences taught me that, dog, like, who was always there? You know, who was always there? My family was always there. The Zamas of the world were always there, you know. So
we do what we can. It's a tough role, but somebody's got to do it.
So when it comes to like a support system and a support group, I really thank God that I have you guys, because honestly, you guys have been constant. You guys have been consistent, and that's what matters. And even if all of that falls away, like I said earlier, I'm learning how to be a good friend to me.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, I'll always be there for me, you know, so
do you feel like you found your purpose, or do you just feel like it's an active, ongoing, forever evolving thing?
Me, I'm rocking. Me, I'm just freestyling. Like, I'm even reading Simon's, is it Cynic or Cynic? Simon. That guy,
I stopped
though.
Correcting people a long time ago.
That guy, though, I'm reading his book, Find Your Why, because I'm trying to, I feel as though that I feel my purpose, but I haven't quite figured out how to articulate it as yet, you know. So right now it's been a feeling process, but I'm trying to get to that point where I can sit down before anyone and say, this is why, you know. So I don't think I found it yet. I think I'm still figuring it out, but I feel it though. I feel it.
And that's so valid. Like, I think for me, I've always been someone who I knew that I find a lot of value out of service. I love being able to just be useful in spaces. And when it came to like me trying to figure out what is my purpose to things, I think the thing that I get the most fulfillment out of is impact. And I just want to make sure that anything that I do, any space that I take up, like what is the impact that it's having or doing, whether it's small or big and stuff like that. Like that has become my why, you know. Even if it, you know, it comes to contracts and money and stuff, I constantly keep thinking about impact, you know, because I think we're all different, but for me, like that's where I find myself feeling most. Like when you speak about how do you feel about yourself at the end of the day, when I feel like I have been of service and stuff, I feel so like I have really used up my purpose and my like, to the potential that biggest potential of it. Do you feel like your skills, your talents and all of that is your purpose? Because it's like, if you are somebody who, if you get to a place where you, as you said, these things can go away, right? It doesn't mean your purpose has been taken away from you.
No.
And that's why I love what you said earlier, that you are the purpose.
Bro, I'm the bag. I'm the flow. I am the purpose.
You are the currents. You are the danger.
To quote the great Jay-Z again, he says,
what does he say?
Put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'll triple my worth. No matter what.
On that note. Friend, thank you so much. Honestly, this has been so lovely to just hear you, to just experience you and all of that. Like, I think there's so much like I'm taking away from this. So many like just golden nuggets. Like you're just a wall of wisdom. I appreciate it.
Well, maybe paddle, not a whale.
Okay, yeah. You gotta be humble, right? After what did he just say? I'll triple out this and that. But like, thank you so much. Do you mind just telling everyone where to find you?
Which camera? Do I do the wide or the?
They're all catching you.
Oh, yo, David, catch this, brother. Okay. To anyone who doesn't know, David is the guy, you know, who's controlling the cameras. Yo, D, you got that? Yo, if you want to holler at your boy, it's at President Thato on all social media platforms. If you want to hit up my email, it's info@thatodithebe.com. Love yourself, man. Be kind to yourself.
As always, I'm sending my love. Goodbye.
What in the 20s is going
in the
on?
20s
Think about
here.
the 20s, baby. What in the 20s is going on? Here for my 20s, baby. This is the 20s.